You've seen the movies, a medieval wedding under a stone arch, a knight in shining armor, a lady in a fancy dress, soft music, happily ever after. Yeah, no. Medieval marriage was often less true love and more legal contract you didn't sign. Girls married as teenagers, men married for land, and the church tried to control everything, including who you loved and when you loved. Today, we're digging into what marriage was really like in the Middle Ages and why you probably wouldn't want to be part of it. In the Middle Ages, marriage wasn't about romance. It was about property, alliances, and bloodlines. If you were noble, your parents weren't asking, "Do you like him?" They were asking, "How much land does his family own?" Love came later, if it came at all. Peasants had a little more freedom, but even then, marriage was tied to survival. Your partner wasn't just a spouse, they were your coworker, your business partner, and your economic lifeline. We always hear about child brides. And yes, some noble girls were technically married at 12 or 13, but many didn't start living with their husbands until years later. Still, imagine being a teenager and finding out your entire future was decided because your father wanted access to better farmland. No choices, no dreams. Just, congratulations, you belong to this family now. The church had a lot to say about marriage. They called it sacred, but also suspiciously dangerous if you enjoyed it too much. There were rules about who you could marry, how related you could be, and even specific days when sex was forbidden, which was a lot of days. In theory, the church protected marriage. In reality, it felt like they were in your bedroom with a clipboard. If you ended up in a bad marriage, there was almost no escape. Divorce, as we think of it, didn't exist for most people. The only option was an annulment, which required money, influence, and a really good argument. For ordinary women trapped with abusive husbands, the system offered almost nothing. You might go back to your family, you might beg the church for help, but freedom wasn't guaranteed. Still, love found a way. People had secret affairs, ran away together, or eloped without permission. Court records show lovers who risked everything: family anger, church punishment, even exile, just to be together. And then there were the songs and poems, knights and ladies whispering forbidden love while pretending everything was holy and proper. The church hated it. People kept doing it anyway. Women weren't completely powerless. Some negotiated marriage terms, defended their rights in court, or ran households while their husbands were away for years. Widowhood, strangely enough, was often when women gained the most freedom. A widow could own property, run businesses, and make decisions without a man's approval. Some never remarried. And honestly, who could blame them? For many families, the choice for a daughter came down to marriage or the convent. Both could be opportunities. Both could be prisons. Marry a good man and life might be stable. Marry the wrong one, and life could feel like a sentence you never signed up for. Sometimes choosing the convent was the safer path, not the holier one. So, would you want a medieval marriage? No TikTok, no therapy, no easy exit, just your family negotiating your future, the church watching from the sidelines, and you hoping your spouse wasn't terrible at both farming and feelings. Marriage could be loving and supportive, or it could be lonely, harsh, and inescapable. So yeah, medieval marriage was complicated, sometimes sweet, often strategic, and frequently unfair. Next time you watch a romantic medieval movie scene, remember that behind the velvet dresses and slow-motion weddings were contracts, politics, church rules, and a whole lot of people trying their best to not lose their minds. Thanks for watching Timelines Uncovered, where we dig up the weird, messy, very human side of history. If you'd rather learn from real medieval chaos than another boring textbook, hit subscribe. And tell me in the comments, would you rather be a medieval wife, a medieval nun, or a medieval runaway?